Okay, that was weak. But chaps, I hope you guys are doing well. And you might be wondering, like, are we trying to kill someone today? Judging from the video title, of course. I'll be wondering what is happening today. So if you saw my previous video that I did, which was about the worst advice I've ever received, I also told you guys throughout the video that the next video is going to be about identity. And that's what you're going to kill today, your identity. And that's hence why I've written the title, like, why you have to kill yourself. Because your old version is just a baggage. I kind of went over this in the last video a little bit because I couldn't go in depth simply because it's such a long topic and a topic of its own. That's why I'm doing a video today. And as you guys can guess, I have my journal with me today. And I really want to go over this bit by bit as to like how I have done it. There's a certain nuance and like certain frameworks that I have. What I've done so far, and I will make a video in the future as well as to how far it has like helped me and like propelled me as well in terms of my life and my personal development. But also you can take this framework and learn for yourself as well. That's more important. And bearing in mind this is going to be pretty similar to what you do, but the framework that I have is not going to be the same as yours. It will be similar, however, it's going to be different as a whole. Simply because the way you're living your life is way different to mine. The way I have lived my life and the way you have lived your life is just night and day. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're individuals. I have lived my life on a certain like wavelength, and you have lived your life on a certain wavelength, which is fine. So it's not bad necessarily. But without further ado, I want to talk about this concept of identity reconstruction, basically, and how it works in real time. But to jump into that, I do want to go over one concept firstly, and that is about you. The advantage of you, the power of you, basically. You as a person, the power you have as a person is really important for you to understand. Before I go over everything, I need you to understand this one. So I had this thing that, so there is this framework that's related to it, the power of you. There's a framework to it, and this is the idea of being level-headed. So, bit of a backstory. When I was training in mixed martial arts, my coach would always tell me like, he wouldn't ask me like if I'm good with something or if I was like really like bad with something. He would just ask me like, am I comfortable with this technique? Am I comfortable with this training? Because for you to understand as a person is that you are not perfect, right? So no matter what you do, you'll never be as good as you want to be, like truly in real time, because there's always a plateau. There's always something you can improve, right? At the same time, like you can make mistakes because you're human, right? You make sure that you don't repeat the same mistakes over and over again, but you realize that you're human, right? You can make mistakes. That is really important. And that is the idea of you, because you have to understand the power that you have has to come from a place of being level-headed. Like, yes, you can fuck up. Yes, you can mess up, but you have to understand that you have the solution as well. Okay, I created the mess, right? Therefore, I can create a solution. And this will tie down into more parts later on when I explain it. And I'll explain them how exactly, but this part specifically, like, you can fuck up and you can mess up, but you can also create a solution for it that comes up onto you. That is a power of you that you have to understand, because if you can see it in your mind and you combine it with action, raw action every day. I don't want you to optimize anything. I don't want you to like, be work block everything for like, oh, you're gonna do this for 5 hours, do this for 1 hour, do this for 30 minutes. I don't want you to do all that. All I'm saying is if you can see it here in your mind and you can combine it with raw action, you will have the results, or you will be closer to the results that you actually want to achieve, your desired outcome. So please understand that the power of you, this concept is really important, because I want you to really believe in yourself before you start with any of this, that you have to believe that you have the power to do things, and you have the power to like undo things as well. If you created a mess, fine, take feedback from it, and then like make sure what can be done like differently and create a solution for yourself. And that feedback part is really important, because feedback is something we barely take in our lives from anyone. Like we just aimlessly implement. Even if we implement something and it works out pretty well, it just kind of just feels, how do I say it still just feels off, and it still doesn't work out completely, simply because we didn't take feedback the last time. Ask yourself, like, and this is a problem that I had as well for the past couple of years as well. I would never take feedback from someone. I would always think I knew everything. oh, I know it. I don't have to like ask someone. Not everyone is an expert. Yes, you won't always have an expert at your end, but ask someone, like maybe your friend, maybe your, even if it's not a family member, maybe someone from your, how, like you say, your community you see every now and then. Maybe someone from your training, maybe your girlfriend, or maybe someone you really who really knows you at a deeper level, and ask them for feedback about something that you have done, something that you have kind of like, how do I say, messed up at, or something you've been doing better at. Ask them a bit of feedback around it. Don't just aimlessly implement. Don't be a robot. Ask people for feedback. Feedback is king. Really, really important. And that ties down into you, the power of you. Yes, you have the power. Yes, you can control things, but don't lock yourself to the outward as well. Take whatever you can, take what is useful. As Bruce Lee says, take whatever is useful and discard the rest. Take useful. Whatever can be useful to you, just take it. And then take that feedback and then implement. Don't implement aimlessly. So I want you to understand this concept, which is the power of you. Now we'll move on to how we will like reconstruct our identity in real time. So secondly, let's move into the second point that I want to tie down into. Remember when I told you that you have the power you have the power to create a solution, because yes, you're gonna fuck up, yes, you're gonna mess up, but you still have the power to create a solution, right? That takes us to our first point, ownership. And what is ownership exactly? Well, in a theory, it's just holding yourself accountable, right? You hold yourself accountable, so that's ownership. But in this case, I specifically want to talk about extreme ownership. When I say extreme, like I genuinely mean this, like take it to an extreme. Like people would think that this is dumb. Like they will be like, oh, this is just bogus. This is ludicrous. Like, why would this guy think this way? Because you see, most people, they live in cages. They have every single excuse under the rock. Oh, my boss doesn't understand me. My girlfriend doesn't understand me. My parents don't understand my dreams. The job market is tough. The economy is rough. The world is getting fucked. There's wars going on. They blame every single thing, every single person, every single situation, every single thing except themselves. They externalize everything all the time. And that's why they stay in a cage. That's why they stay where they are. That's why they stay stuck, because they don't take extreme ownership. Because if I were to ask you, hey, let me ask you something. If it's everyone's fault, right? Like as you said, if it's everybody's fault, your parents or the government or your boss or your girlfriend or your friends or the situation or the war, whatever, the world is at fault except you. Do you think you have any power to change any of that? If that makes sense? Do you? You don't, right? Because if they have created this mess for you, well, you don't really hold any power over your situation now, do you? It's only after you realize and only after you blame yourself for everything that things start to make sense. And then you realize, okay, you know what? If I fucked up, if I made up a mistake, I can create a solution, because you take complete ownership for this. So if you look at if you take a look at your own life and you think like, oh, out of shape body, that's your fault. Shallow relationships, that's your fault. Having a fucked up life, that's your fault. Having a girl that just disrespects you, that's your fault. Every single thing in your life that may not have been even like related to you specifically is just your fault. You could have done something. That's really important. You could have done something. I don't know. Maybe I give you a personal instance. Let's say I'm going out and it's sunny, right? But it starts raining at 6. Now my clothes are going to get wet. It's going to get dirty, whatever. I could have taken an umbrella at 9, right when I left at 9 a.m. But I didn't. But it was sunny. It's always sunny all the time. I could have carried it in my car, but I didn't. I could have done something, but I didn't. I know it sounds bogus, like I don't control the rain, right? I don't. It can rain at any moment. I don't control it. But I could have done something. I could have done something. And that mind and that mental model is only going to be there when you take extreme ownership for your life. Ask yourself, I want you to ask yourself this specific question right now. What specific areas of your life, your personal or your professional life, you're currently like just avoiding ownership of? You're just avoiding ownership whatsoever. It can be anything. Don't answer to me. Don't answer to anybody else. Answer to yourself. Take a piece of paper, take a pen, and just write it down. Whatever it is, just write it down. Tell yourself, what is it about my life that I'm just avoiding ownership of? It can be anything. It can be anything. I genuinely want you to write this down and tell yourself, what is that you're taking? What is this part of your life that is just you're avoiding completely? Your professional life or your personal life, doesn't matter. But you're avoiding ownership of it. That's the bottom line. What is it? Write it down. See for yourself. Oh, this is what I'm avoiding. Why is that? Why am I avoiding? Write down that reason. Write down that reason simply. And the reason has to be whatever the reason is, you have to take complete ownership of it. Complete ownership. Don't externalize. Don't say, "Oh, it's because my boss was like, he doesn't help. He's a bit of a, he's an asshole. So he doesn't, give me a promotion." You can just write like, "Okay, I just don't work hard enough. I'm not showing him the result. I'm just showing that, oh, I work hard enough, but nobody cares about how hard you work. They care about your results ultimately." That's a reality. And then ask yourself, okay, this is the reason. These are the things that I have I've just been avoiding the ownership of, and this is the why. And what is this costing me in real time? You realize a lot of stuff actually. And all those problems that you've been facing right now, they can be all tied down to you because you are avoiding to take ownership of your life. Any part of your life that you're seeing is just fading away or just all over the place, just bear this one thing in mind. It has 99% of the time, it has something to do with you. 99% of the time, I guarantee you, it has something to do with you. Bear that in mind. Bear that in mind completely. And once you get past all that, you blame yourself for everything. Because I want you to speak this to yourself. I do blame myself for everything no matter what. I do. Do you blame yourself for everything you do? Tell yourself. Do you blame yourself for everything? Look yourself in the mirror right now. Tell yourself. Do you actually blame yourself for everything? No matter what? Or you just externalize it all the fucking time? You have to be accountable, right? You have to hold yourself accountable. Oh, how do you define accountability? Two words: actions and feedback. Feedback is king. Feedback comes again into play. It's also a third part as well, your standard as well. That's something I've realized it over time because a lot of these low quality experiences that you have in your life, or a lot of these bullshit experiences, a lot of bad experiences that you have, can just be avoided if you have a higher standard for yourself. High standards make ensure that you avoid a low quality of life. Keep that in mind. It's really important. Like I can't emphasize it enough. Like if you don't take ownership of your life, if you don't hold yourself extremely accountable for what has happened to you so far, you will always lose, always. And you have to define that accountability for yourself. You have to take action. You have to hold a standard for yourself, and you need to take feedback. Feedback is king. Take feedback all the time, all the time. You can never know enough. Tell yourself whatever your name is. I don't know, like Andrew, John, George, Daryl, James, whatever your name is. I don't care. Or maybe you're a girl. Maybe your name is Sarah, Jasmine, Rose, whatever. They're just flowers. They're just flower names. But just get the idea. Just get the picture. I don't know who you are, but that's what you tell yourself, that I hold myself accountable for everything that has happened in my life so far, no matter what has happened. It might not it might not be even your fault completely, but you still hold yourself accountable for it. That's how you actually can change your life. You believe in yourself, you have the power to change things, right? You do. But that can only be done if you hold yourself truly accountable. So start implementing those actions, hold yourself to a higher standard, and take feedback all the time. That is really important. That is the framework of how complete ownership works. Now, there's a lot of questions involved, like those questions I cannot answer because they're more unique to you and they make sense to you. Because, as I said, like, what are those things that you're actually holding yourself back in? Like, those parts of your life which are lagging, those parts of your life which are not progressing, they're just there, they're just stuck there just simply because, like, you're not taking complete ownership. Now, I cannot answer, like, what are those situations, whatever it is, like, that's on you. You had to answer that for yourself, and you really had to do some soul searching for that. Your personal life, your professional life, your relationships, your finances, really deep down, like just dig into each of it and tell yourself, where am I just completely avoiding accountability? Where am I not taking ownership? And you realize a lot of stuff about your life actually. And a lot of stuff can be solved if you just do a bit of deep work into these things. If you just take complete accountability, even for a day. It will make you will have a lot more clarity. I kid you not. Try this right now. Take complete ownership for the day. Just one day. Just take complete ownership of your life for one day. And I kid you not, you'll have more clarity than ever before. Maybe you're just stuck in this rut for like 6 to 12 months and nothing is working out for you. I kid you not, if you take complete ownership for just one day, you'll have more clarity than you ever had in the last 6 months. You'll have more clarity than you had in the last 6 months. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. So that's there as well. Now, another part I want to go into is simply like you understand your power as a person, you understand accountability, but you also understand your life was not always the way. Like, we all have a past, right? Our past, and we all have problems. And yes, some situations, some people are in a better position, they have a good head start, whatever, but you can't always like blame your past. Most people just blame their past. And that comes back into ownership again, as I just discussed with you guys. That comes back into ownership. Past is like, your past is there. Yes, it happened. It might not have happened in your favor. You wanted things to be a certain way, but they didn't. But it doesn't matter because your past doesn't define you. Your past has no power over you. That's it. Your past has no power whatsoever over you. Tell that to yourself that your past doesn't matter. It doesn't define you. The only time to reflect, and this is really important, keep this in mind. The only time to reflect on the past is when you're looking to learn and grow from it. Looking to learn and grow from it. One thing that I do is about the past is like I almost like reminiscence about the good memories. I don't think about the bad ever. I just think about the good memories. Just reminiscence and understand like what was a good. I just keep myself to that, and I just hold that to myself because it gives me a warm feeling. You had that memory in your life where you're like almost like, I don't know if this has happened to you, but you're almost about to go to bed and then you keep your head on the pillow for a while, and then just this old memory starts to play. Maybe it can be anything about your life. It can be a certain event with your family member or a certain loved one or whatever it is. And it's a good memory. And then just feeling it, it just gives you this warm feeling, right? How does that make you feel? It feels good. Hold on to that feeling. That good memory, just hold on to the good parts. Don't keep the bad parts. They just make you resentful and they just make you feel bad all of a sudden. It doesn't serve you completely. This is really important because a lot of people, they just blame their past simply because the reason I bring up the idea of good memories and bad memories, because most people, they just look at the bad memories. They don't look at the good memories. They don't hold on to the good. They just hold on to the bad. And that's why they keep blaming their past. Any person, yes, who knows that they don't let their past define them, they also understand, okay, it's not like they completely forget their past. They remember their past, but they only hold on to the good and not to the bad. Holding on to the bad part just makes you more resentful. Holding on to the goodness, never forget the goodness that is between you and the past. Never forget that. Yes, stuff might have happened, stuff may have been bad, stuff may have been traumatic for you, stuff may have been really like stressful for you. It may have been really like somebody might have wronged you really, really badly. It's hard for you to understand and like, almost, how do I say it? Like hold on to that good. And it's hard to search for that goodness when so much bad stuff has just happened to you. So much of your stuff was just bad all of a sudden. And you're like, how do I hold on to the good? That is a difficult part of it. That part where I told you that your past doesn't define you, that part is difficult. And it takes a bit, again, a bit more soul searching. A bit more soul searching. You have to ask yourself, why are you holding on to the bad part? Is it because you truly just feel resentful? Is it because the closure was never there? Is it because you really, really like never, how do I say, look past that memory, that it just was able to just keep an imprint so strong that you were never able to forget about it? Is that the case? Ask yourself. Again, I can't answer that question for you because I don't know your life situation. But maybe if you're gonna talk about it in the comments, chuck them down in the comments. I don't know, or maybe if you have an Instagram, the link in the description. I don't know, maybe. I can give you a better answer in that case, but again, for the sake of the video, I want you to understand that what is the reason for you to hold on to that bad memory? Because that means that that memory holds a bit more power over you if you're still thinking about that. It may be a certain incident, a certain person, whatever, or it might just be something that hasn't happened on your part, something somewhere you kind of have, let's say, fallen short, and it really cost you in the past, and now you can't help but just think about it all the time. But in the same instance, you have to understand something. You cannot let it define you. Because if you let that define you, then your past has power over you. And what did I say before that? Complete ownership. Before complete ownership, what did I tell you? The power of you. You have the power to change it, right? So that internal shift is really important, right? Keeping that internal shift of, oh, The mess has happened. I fucked up. Yes, whatever. I can still change it. I still have the power to create a solution. So the past cannot define me, no matter what. No matter what. That is really important. That is what I want you to really understand for now. So that takes us about the past. And again, you might have to do a bit more soul searching because there's going to be parts of your past which are a bit more traumatic, which you might not have healed from properly as well. That's there as well. And you might have seen a lot of stuff about your past you kind of just bottled down all just inside you and never really spoke about it and never really, you know, thought like really had that much thinking time, like time to think over it. You didn't really try to gain clarity over it. There is going to be instances like that, but it has to be done if you actually want to kill yourself and reborn as a new individual. It has to be done. Otherwise, this won't work. Otherwise, this step is really important. I kind of emphasize this stuff more as opposed to the others because this is really important. You have to understand your past doesn't matter. It doesn't define you. Tell yourself your past has no power over you. Only you have the power over you. No one else. No one else but you. That's all that matters. Your past doesn't matter. Even if it was good, even if it was bad, it doesn't matter. There's so many guys whose past is amazing. You see these old guys who are like high school jockeys and whatnot. These guys are good in school. They get the girls and whatnot. They're famous. School finishes, college finishes, and then they're just a former shadow of everything. They believe in their past. They thought like their past was the only time they could be themselves and they could be the best version of themselves, and never after that. Even after having a good head start, even after being famous among all the college kids, even after being famous in school, whatnot, they still are just nobody knows them now. They're just ghosts. And a lot of times you'll see a lot of guys with like a bad past. They come out to be like the next big thing. Bad things happen to you for a reason. If nothing bad happened to you, look at Batman, for instance. His parents died when he was like, what, a kid? But that's what made him a superhero, right? Bad things happen to everyone. Superman, funny enough for that, say Spider-Man, all these superhero movies, Spider-Man's uncle died. Superman's entire universe was like finished by whoever the villain was. I don't remember what his name was, but whatever. But I'm just saying, bad things happen to everyone. Even if you look at religion, the most holiest of figures and all these angels and all these prophets and all these people who were closer to God, even they had bad things happen to them. But they never let those bad things define them. Because they even understand that, you know what? These bad things, they're just a transition. It's not going to define them. I think it was 50 Cent. He said this in one of his songs. It was like, an OG told me, or something like that, or something along those lines. God's favorites have a hard time. You see what I mean? God's favorites have a hard time. It means God loves you. You do believe God loves you, right? So you're gonna have some bad things happen to you, but that just shows like He knows you can take all that, because by the time you start winning, it's gonna be easy. Winning is easy. Persistence is more difficult. Persisting and telling yourself you're gonna win, even when you're not, that is a difficult part. That is difficult. I'm really emphasizing this part for you guys. This part about your past is really important. Understand that it has no power over you, and you have to lean forward and jump forward and take that leap of faith into the unknown. Yes. However, whatever was in the past, that's it. It's no longer there. Whatever's in the future, you don't even know it's there. All you have is the present, the now. Understand that. So that's the part about the past. Your past doesn't define you. And then a really important concept: detachment. Be detached from the outcome. There's a pretty famous saying in sales from Jeremy Lee Minor. He says, be detached from the outcome if you want to increase your income. Simple as that. Donald Trump, Art of the Deal, even he says, if you can walk away from the deal, you have no power in negotiations. Like something along those lines. I don't remember correctly. This concept of detachment is super important, and it can be translated to anything. Anything, honestly. This detachment is really fucking important. And it's not that deep. Like, you almost have to like borderline the importance that you still want to improve, you still want to achieve things, but the importance that you have for this thing, you have to borderline take it to like a zero. Like, you can't be bothered about it. You can't be bothered about those things, about the outcome. You just have to focus on the process. That's the idea of detachment. That's really important. It's like talking to this beautiful girl, you know you want her, but at the same time you just couldn't care less. You just couldn't care less. Your mind is such a powerful thing that you just couldn't care less about the girl. And when the girl sees that, she's like, oh shit, did this guy he's just detached. And that detachment makes the girl want you even more. And that concept applies to so many things in life. That concept of detachment. Like having that detached mind, like, are you detached to the fact that you can have it all? Take a second, understand that. Are you detached to the fact that you can have it all in real time? You can have it all. Are you detached to that? Detachment is really important. But how is detachment going to be in your life? Two things. You have to trust yourself firstly. You trust yourself because, as I said, the power of you and extreme ownership leans in towards trusting yourself more. So you've done all that, right? Now, what are you going to couple that with? Combine that with action. And what are you going to have? You're going to stack wins, daily wins. Can be anything. Your training, your work, whatever, it doesn't matter. Daily wins and trusting yourself, that is attachment. That is the process that you're like leaning in towards every single day. That is what is actually make you come closer to your goal because you're detached from the goal. As I said, right? You're detached to the fact that you can have it all. Yes, you can have it all. You're like, yeah, I can have it all because it's already happened. Yeah, I know I can have it all. It's already happened. Only reality has to catch up now. The reality has to catch up. It's already happened in your mind. That's why you're just detached. You're like, yeah, it's already happened. In your mind, it's already happened. You don't care. What's the worst? It's not gonna. It's not gonna bother you because the moment you see it in your life, the moment you're like, I'll give you a funny example. You know, at times I'll be like in school, and you station, you have your pens and your pencils, whatever. You would try to find, you're trying to write things with your pencil, and the next thing you know, you just lose it, and then you try to find it everywhere. You go everywhere. You're searching through the desks, through the tables, everywhere. And one Sunday morning, you wake up late, and you see it. The pencil is right there in front of you on the desk. When you are not trying to look for it, most importantly, that's really important. When you're not trying to look, when you weren't like trying to look for it, it was already in front of your eyes. But when you were trying to like find, like, I just want to find this pencil, I just want the pencil, you're trying to look for everything, you're just too caught up with finding that certain thing, you never find it. It's such a simple concept, but it makes it makes so much fucking sense if you actually think about it. That detached mind is super important. Because you have to understand something. This idea of detachment comes from two things. Like, if it's in your control, you shouldn't be worried about anything, right? You shouldn't be worried about anything. That the detachment has two parts. Like, if it's in your control, you shouldn't be worried. Because even if it's not in your control, you still shouldn't be worried because it's not in your control. You can't do anything about it. It's kind of like it's a stoic framework when you think about it, but at the same time, this is what detachment actually is. If you actually can control it, if it's in your control, then why are you worried? You can create a solution for it, right? Oh, it's not in your control. Well, then why are you worried? You can't control it, no matter what you do. I told you at the beginning. Are you detached to the fact that you can have it all? Are you? Ask yourself. Write it. Take that paper. Take that pen. Write it down right now. Tell yourself. Are you? Tell yourself. I'm not kidding. Actually, write it down. You might be thinking, "Oh, this guy's a psycho." Whatever. Write it down. Trust me. Trust and believe. This is really important. Again, if you don't want to change, then you can be the same person who was it. But whatever. And there's some questions that I want you to ask yourself completely when it comes to having a detached mind. But firstly, like, I want to go over like the worry part of it because we're always worried about how things can be, like that this things happen or this can happen or whatever. This is a framework I want to explain later in the video as well, but this is going to come later. But first, I want you to understand a part of it. If you would only worry about things you can control, and if you don't control them, like, you can just let your emotions go in this. No, let me put it in a better, let me reframe it. If you're only worried about things you can control and not about things you cannot control, you're not actually detached. Understand that as well. Don't be, that worry part has to be taken away. Yes, you're worrying about the things you can control, but at the same time, I'm telling you not to worry about it because that takes away from the core part of detachment, that you're still being attached, you're attaching yourself now still to something. You get my point? It's hard to kind of like absorb all of this, but try to understand my point. Like, don't try to like attach yourself even to the things that you can actually control. Don't attach yourself to it. Understand that you can do it, but at the same time understand like, yeah, because it's in your control, so you don't really have to worry about it. And in the same instance, understand that something that is not in your control, you can't do much about it. So no matter what you try, it's never going to work out because it's never was in your control. Most people worry about the second one, not the first one. This is pretty common. We always worry about, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this doesn't work out? We always worry about what we cannot control. As humans, we have this instinct, like we just worry about, and it's hard for you to grasp it because you're going against your instinct. Like your normal human mind, it's kind of like teaching someone how to fight. Like your normal instinct towards fighting is completely wrong. You're just throwing yourself at you, you're just swinging. You have to like anger yourself and also go against your instinct. Same as the thing here. Like whenever you worry about something, you're worrying about things that are not under your control, right? That are not under your control. At the same instance, you don't have to worry about things that are in your control. That is also important. Don't worry about things that are in your control. Just understand that, okay, what is in my control is in my control. And if I can control it, then I don't really have to worry about it. And if I don't control it, then why worry at all? Like, it's not in my control. That worry part is really important. Understand that about detachment. And if you have to watch this part again, watch it, because I feel like this is something like, again, this is just one take. I don't really script these. This is me speaking from the heart as always. I don't really script these. As raw as possible, so you know, like, okay, I'm speaking to you directly, so you can understand my point and get an idea of what I'm actually trying to communicate to you guys. Because this is something I've recently dived deep, like really did a deep dive into, and I'm almost exploring parts of myself and seeing exactly like what is working, what isn't working for me lately as well. But there's some questions I want you to ask yourself. Ask yourself these simple questions, and if you want to go over them and pause them and like go over them bit by bit, go ahead and take your time. I won't rush through, but I'll speak them now. How do you react whenever you're faced with ideas and opinions that differ from your own mind? That's number one. Are you open to changing your viewpoint or your opinion, or do you just find yourself resisting new information and knowledge all the time? Number two, what fears do you have about letting go of certain mind frames, certain beliefs, and certain outcomes? In what situations do you feel just stuck? And how might that be affecting your mind on a day to day basis? Do you often label experiences as completely good or completely bad without considering how many opportunities they may offer in terms of learning? How do you respond to anyone who gives you feedback or constructive criticism? Do you Are the assumptions that you make about people or situations, like, how are they limiting your perspective? Let me say this one again. How are the assumptions that you make about situations, people, or outcomes, how are they limiting your perspective? Specifically limiting. Answer this one first. How are they limiting your experience? And then once you see what they're limiting your experience at, then talk about how are they actually expanding your perspective, if they are. First answer the limiting part. Then see if there actually is something that is expanding your perspective, because that might be the case again. And then the eighth one. Are you willing to explore new experiences, new ideas outside of your own comfort zone? And if not, why? How do you challenge yourself to remain more curious and less judgmental? Really important. Do you challenge yourself every single day to remain more curious and less judgmental? Because the normal human instinct is to be more judgmental and less curious. Again, something you have to go against your instinct again. It's hard, but really important. So that is the idea of having a detached mind. And if you like, I won't go over these questions again, but this is again soul searching. Again, a lot of soul searching. If you go into this and actually understand that, okay, like this is what it is, and this is your idea with life, you have to answer them with genuine curiosity. Genuine curiosity. I'm not saying that just pull words out of your ass and just go away. No. Answer these questions that I've told you right now. Answer them with genuine curiosity. Genuinely do some work on these and tell yourself, put each question on a piece of paper, each one. Keep separate sheets for them. Like literally, for ownership, keep a separate sheet. For your past, keep a separate sheet. For your detached mind and these questions that I talked to you about, keep a separate sheet and ask yourself completely. Ask yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Be as honest as possible. Ask yourself right now. Keep these as like bullet points and tell yourself, okay, how am I reacting here? Like, this is a lot of self work that you actually have to do, because you have to realize patterns about yourself that you were avoiding for a long time. Parts of yourself that you were just avoiding for a long time. Remember that. And this is really important. And this becomes highly important if you want to kill yourself. If you want to kill that version of yourself. That's a better word. That's better framing. Don't kill yourself. Kill the version of yourself. Kill that version of yourself. That self that is just holding you back. That is really important for this. So we went over how the power of you dictates life, how you have to take extreme ownership, how your past doesn't define you, how you have a detached mind and how detachment works, and also the part about worrying, which I'll go into later as well. And now I want you to build the canvas for yourself. I want you to paint the picture. Paint the picture for yourself. The canvas, the picture, the wall, whatever you want to call it. Build it for yourself. Build that ideal life for yourself. And I keep it in two ways. You have to play two games here. This is an unlimited game and a limited game. One is an unlimited one and one is a limited game. The unlimited one is something that you can do for the rest of your life and something that you want to have for the rest of your life. Maybe some art that you've learned, or some skill that you want for the rest of your life, or something that you want to take care of, your parents or whatever it might be. That's your unlimited game. Never stops. It's always going to be there because that's how life is. It will never stop. Stop expecting for like the completion of anything. Way of the Superior Man, chapter 1, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But shout out David Data, or that was his name. Yeah. David Data, that's the guy's name. Book of the Way of the Superior Man, really good book. Read it sometimes. Really good for guys, especially. But you won't get it if you're just like a teenager. So I don't recommend it for a teenager. But if you're a guy in your 20s or a guy in your 30s and 40s, do read it. It's really good. However, straight back to the video. Unlimited game is just basically your daily life, whatever it comprises of, what you want to do. Maybe your faith, maybe your training, maybe your family, maybe your work, maybe your finance, whatever. This is your infinite game that you're always going to follow through, always going to have in your life, always going to channel for, always going to keep flowing no matter what. This is your unlimited game. You have to keep playing it to, I don't know, infinity. You have to keep playing it. What's your finite game? Or what's your limited game right now? Something of a small scale. It's almost like part of me teaching you, like, not teaching you. I'm not teaching you. I'm not a guru. I'm not a teacher. I'm just someone who's not there yet, but just kind of ahead. And I'm just looking back at you guys and I'm just giving you the rope and telling you, like, oh, take it, like, take some help. Like, I'm giving it to you. Again, I'm just giving you the rope and not pulling you. You still have to take the effort to, like, climb the mountain by yourself. All right? I'm not at the top. I'm just climbing. I'm just giving you the rope. I'm saying, like, do you want to take the rope or not? That's on you. But that's what I want to make. Like, this is a part of, like, your purpose, like your core purpose, and the different layers of purpose that peel off. So your core purpose, as I said, your unlimited game, this might be here. And there's simple, like, these small purpose that you peel through. Maybe that you have to get better at. Maybe, like, your idea is, like, your core purpose in life. So one of them is, like, having a better social circle. So your small purpose layers can be, which are like peeling off like an onion, are going to be you being in better places with better people, finding a better social circle for yourself so that you can have your so-called boys around you, right? That's what we want, like a brotherhood. But again, it's not going to be that easy finding that brotherhood because Most men are shit nowadays. They don't do anything. So that's the part of like you building your canvas. And that's a really long part, honestly. Like you really have to like ask yourself a question every single thing. But I will give you a bit of a framework on it and try to like do some and try to like really focus on it. Like write whatever is your like your unlimited game and write your like your limited game simultaneously. Write your unlimited game that you want and your limited game that you're willing to play. Right? Your unlimited game has to be something that is really like of substance. And then ultimately you have to dictate the skills underneath both of them, which you have to channel on a day-to-day basis to actually achieve those outcomes for your unlimited game and your limited game. That's what I want you to do. And there's going to be part of yourself where you have to answer a lot of questions. Like in your limited and your like there's part of yourself like you have to explain things about yourself for your soul. Answer deeply on every single level about your own soul, about your own self as a person. Answer to yourself about what type of family do you want? What type of soulmate do you want? What type of life do you want to create for yourself? What type of experiences do you want to have? What type of people do you want to be surrounded by? What type of individuals do you want to be surrounded by? What type of children do you want? What are their values that you want to embed into them? What are the type of memories that you want people to remember you by? These are a lot of questions. I just named you like 10 on the fly, but there's so many things. Again, like this is really important. You're reconstructing your identity. I know it might be a lot for you right now watching, but you're really trying to reconstruct your identity here. You're really trying to like undo all that programming, all that stuff, and all that bullshit that the school, the media, the news, the society, the government has like been like pushing onto your mind. You have to say no to all that, and you have to kill yourself. Metaphorically, you have to kill that old version of you to actually come into life and actually make things work in your favor. Because if you don't kill that old version of you, nothing's gonna work. And this might seem a lot. Yes, it might seem a lot when you have to answer these for yourself. It's gonna be a lot and might be weeks and months of deep work on yourself. It's gonna be a lot, but it's worth it completely. It is worth it. It is worth it completely. Then yeah. So answer that for yourself. What is about your life? What is about your soul malady? I've like written these down. So I don't know if you can see. I don't want to show it to you guys, but whatever I've written for myself. And at the same instance, write like a parallel between you. Write like the ultimate avatar, like what you are as a person. What are you? So for instance, this is me. This is Scorpius. This is what I see him as. This is who he is. Versus where I am right now. Right now, where I am. This is me. This is me. This is you. This is you. Where are you right now? Which is where you want to actually be. A to B. Where you're currently at and where's your desired outcome. Write all those desired outcomes and see what is actually holding you back in the present. This is and write them down as well. Build the painting, paint the painting, build the wall, whatever you want to call it. Build it for yourself. Build your ideal life for yourself. Define success for yourself. Because problem with us as people today is like we're always following somebody else's blueprint. That's why we're feeling unhappy with ourselves. That's why even after we achieve success, two things happen. Yeah, it comes and goes away quickly because we never readied our mind to actually take all that forward and ready ourselves to hold on to it, firstly. Or secondly, we just feel off. And I'll explain both of them. First one, why can't we hold on to it? I'll give you my personal instance. When I made my first money in dropshipping, what happened was when I got the money, I made it like 1,200 or like 1,300 like USD. Big deal for me. I was a 16-year-old. Big deal for me. I was like on top of the world. When it came in, I was so bad with it. Like I just lost it in like 2 weeks. Literally. I'm not even kidding. I was so bad with money. I was so bad. At the same time, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't sleep then. I was like, damn, I actually made that money. Like, if I had trained my mind to tell myself, yo, it's already happened, and reality is gonna catch up, I would have been sleeping sound. I wouldn't be worried about it. I'm like, yeah, it's happened. Now the next day is gonna be 2K. Next gonna be 4K. Next time it's gonna be 5. Next time it's gonna be 10. Next time it's gonna be 100K. I wouldn't be worried about it. Simply because my mind wasn't shifted. I didn't shift my mental. I wasn't shifted internally. I wasn't. That's the first thing that happens that I told you. Like, even if we get the desired outcome, we're not ready for it because our mind is not there. This is a concept that I was talking about in the previous video. And this is where you can now actually understand what I mean now when I actually bring it here. This is how storytelling actually works, like honestly. Funny enough, that's a video. That's a video as well. How to actually do storytelling. Not today, but some way down the line, but whatever. And that actually was really important because I almost lost everything at that point. I was like, okay, I have it, but I just lost everything simply because I didn't ready myself. I didn't see it in real time. I was like, okay, like this is just gonna happen because I was too attached to the outcome. It never even seemed real to me. That was the first instance. Second instance is where it comes to you, but you never feel complete because you never take a leap of faith. Like your life might be good right now. Your mortgage might be getting paid. You might have a girl who really likes you. Everything is fine. You're having dinners, but deep down inside you just feel like a cog in a machine. And that's because the life and the blueprint that you're following right now is about somebody else's, nobody, and it wasn't your own. You didn't define success for yourself. Back to my original point that I was making. You didn't define success for yourself. You didn't define your ideal life. And if you don't do that, and if you follow everybody else's blueprint, your parents telling you something, the government giving you something, the society giving you something, the media giving its propaganda to you, and all that bullshit, you're following everybody else's advice, everybody else's voice except yours. You're not leading with your heart. Remember that. That's why you just feel like almost soulless. That's why, yeah, everything that you're doing, it has no soul to it. It has no energy to it. It just feels like a machine is doing it. Because, yeah, even though you achieved that dream life, you never really went into length and actually defined it for yourself. Because the life that you actually wanted to live was something completely different. And it is a leap of faith to do that. And yes, before you ask me, are your parents are not going to understand? Yes, they're not going to understand. And that's what actually gives success its true flavor. But when all is said and done, a man is not going to remember his paychecks. He's not going to remember whether or not he made that money, or whether or not he won a certain tournament, whether or not he was the best in town. All that he's going to remember is the day he went all in, or the day he didn't. Because if he doesn't, then it's just going to be a phantom pain of a battle he never fought. And it's always going to bother him. And that feeling of regret, it just kills you. Because regret just is more, it cuts you deeper than failure. It's one thing to fail and knowing you failed, as opposed to never knowing what could have happened if you took that leap of faith. That part I want to define really importantly. This part of like painting the picture is really important because you have to define things for yourself. Because if you don't, well, you're not going to live a really fulfilled life. That is pretty much obvious. And even if it's not like coming into your favor, even if it's not being in your favor, whatever you want ultimately out of life, ask yourself, and this is the last part I want to talk about in this video. This video is going to come to an end here. Tell yourself, mate, tell yourself genuinely, what is the worst that's going to happen? What is the worst? You're going to fail, okay, big deal. You're going to fail, fine. And you're not dying. So what's the worst? What is the worst that's going to happen now, mate? What is the worst thing? It's not that worse. It's not that bad. You tell yourself in your mind, oh, everything's going to go to shit. No, it's not that worse. Someone here right now is going to have a really way worse situation than yours, but you're still telling yourself it's going to be worse, so I'm not going to try. You're a bigger coward, honestly, than the guy who failed. No, the guy who failed is not a coward. He's a hero because at least he tried, he knows he failed, and he lived true to his heart. He made a decision from his heart. And yeah, even though he failed, at least he knows he lived true to himself. You never lived true to yourself. You prioritized safety. And yeah, you didn't fail, but at the same time, you never feel fulfilled. You're never going to feel complete and whole in yourself and your own soul. You're never going to feel that way. I want to get my point across. But honestly, chaps, yeah, that's my idea of like how identity really works in real time. And I'm hoping I was able to give you like real value in this. And if you actually apply, it's gonna really give you more clarity and really give you a bit more, how do I say, perspective on your own life. I know I gave you a perspective with what I said, but at the same time, I think I create a bit of doubt as well with those questions. And there is gonna be doubt. Doubt is good as long as you address it for yourself. So address that doubt within yourself, address those patterns about your past, take that ownership, understand how powerful you actually are, and also realize that you have to be detached from everything ultimately because you don't control the outcome. You don't. Nobody does. You control the process. That's it. That's all. That's all I want to say, honestly. I think this was a bit of a long video. I don't know how many minutes this will be, but I guess it's a long one. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. But whatever it is, I really enjoyed this one because I really wanted to do this video about identity. And there are going to be more videos about identity, like, because this is what my current understanding is. And obviously, it's going to change over time. And once you start working on it, it never ends. It never ends. And I'm still working on it. And over time, I'll do more videos about it. There's gonna be a series around it in a playlist that I'll make, and I'll talk about each thing and keep it there as it is, and you'll understand all of it in real time as to how things work, why things are a certain way, how my own life has been so far by following this framework. What was actually useful to me, what wasn't actually useful, what is the things that I actually discarded over time, what I thought might be useful but it isn't, what I thought wasn't that much important but actually became important. So a lot of answers, a lot of questions, honestly, for myself as well. I know I gave you a lot of questions, but I have a lot of questions for myself as well. As I told you, I'm not at the top. I'm just heading towards it. And I'm just someone who's looking back and then just throwing the rope at you and telling you, like, hey, do you want to climb? Like, that's it. That's all I'm doing and nothing else. But yeah, this was a good one. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't know what the next video is going to be, but yeah, I'll probably do an Instagram poll or just come up with something. But that's there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and yeah.